Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. This is actually, I can tell you, this is going to be one of those you do need to get a pen and paper. All right? This is one of those you're going to need a pen and paper. This is a message from the Lord for all of you that are in business, that are in entrepreneurship. You're thinking about entrepreneurship. There's a few things that we need to focus on in this season. So get your pen, get your paper, and let's jump into this word. So I am Tanisha Shanae, Miss Inspiration. I am so excited to be here with you today. Definitely want to just invite you to invite someone else. This could be someone that's thinking about business. This could be someone that is in business. Definitely just share so that we can pass this word around and get those that need it, get them in alignment, and we can all do our part and our purpose, right? So that's what I do. So I do have my notes. God was like, this one needs to be written down. All right, so there are many of you that are in business. You're starting your own business. You are thinking about going into entrepreneurship. God has been speaking to you about it and it has been on your heart, but you just don't know what to do. So 3 things God said that we're doing wrong or we is some of our barriers. So the first one, like I said, I really would recommend you got a pen or paper, write this down, because this is like a whole bunch of stuff that God was like, it's because of this, it could be because of that. So for some people, one of the few, you are just, you're misusing your resources, right? Your resources. So you have these resources coming in and you're not using them properly. That is an issue. So for some of you, you're just not saving your money. So like you're spending every single thing. And it's not that you don't have enough, but you're just buying in abundance. You're buying things that at this point right now is not a necessity. It is not something. So you're not saving the money so that when those opportunities do come up, you're not in a panic mode, right? We have to stop being so reactive. And we had to start getting proactive. So if you are seeing, if you're seeing that right now you need a new tire, is that going to impact you? Are you going to panic? Are you going to look at it as a big problem, right? So when we are not saving our resources, when those problems come about, that's when we go from it's a small problem to, oh, it's $100. I need to go and just get me a new tire, versus it becomes a big problem that can consume you, right? So when it becomes a big problem, because now you're stressed out, you don't have the $100. You don't have that. And for some people, a person will say, oh, it's just $100. But for you, that $100 can mean whether or not you have gas to get to work, whether or not you have food to eat for the rest of the weeks. For the rest of the days of the week. So we really have to start getting into this habit of really preserving our resources and using them wisely. So that's one of them. Some of you are not saving your money. So this is why when small problems happen, they become big problems in your life and they consume you and they take you down this spiral. And what could have just been a quick, easy fix becomes now months and years of depression, right? So we got to be careful of that. The misuse of credit, right? So some people, again, you're just paying, using a credit card, and you're only paying the bare minimum, right? Use the credit wisely. And we're going to jump to that right now. Some of you also are not leveraging your credit, right? So perfect example of not leveraging your credit would be having a credit card that has no rewards, right? So when I realized that I was just giving like my credit card companies my money, and I wasn't getting anything back in return. I never thought about any of that in college. I never thought about any of that in my 20s. It wasn't until God was like, no, there's going to be a strategy. You're not just applying to any and every card. You're not just saying that you just have a credit card. There is going to be a purpose behind this. I'm going to help you to leverage this. So so instead of you using your debit card, go use your credit card, because your credit card has cash back, and right now your cash back is 5% on every purchase, no limit. So instead of you using the debit card, which is not going to give you any type of leverage, you're going to use the credit card, and you're going to now get double bonus, because most times I'm on like Rakuten, or what's that, it's called Rakuten. I'm on Rakuten, so I'm getting the cash back from them, but then I'm also getting the cash back on my credit card. But the biggest part, this is the biggest but, once it posts, I pay it off with the money that's in my debit card. That's how we have to start leveraging. So I'm building this whole cashback that has no limits at all. And these are the resources. This is going to go towards that resource. One of my credit cards already in 1 year, I have over $100 in cash back in that account. So God forbid, if anything happens, I have at least, because with the bare minimum, I think for that card is like $30. So I have at least 3 months of minimum payments on my one card. That's how we have to start thinking about it. Some of you are not using your main source of income to start funding your business. So you have been given the plan, you have been given the strategy, but you're not using your business, your main income, which is your job, to fund this to fund whatever it is that God is telling you. So this is why you're having these other blockages. So you need to start utilizing what you have, right? This is the season. God is still, a lot of us went through COVID. I shouldn't even say the word. Went through, and still had a job. And were you investing in your business? Were you, because the money that you were not using, and maybe gas and toll, I know some of us had to put that money into our electric bill. I know I had to. I know I'm going to have to this week too. But when I started to realize, I was able to now pour a little bit into maybe an ad, right? So I might not be able to, take my whole paycheck and fund my business, right? Good morning. But I'm able to take my some parts of my paycheck and pour into an ad for my book, right? So this is a strategy. This is something that we have to do. So many times we underestimate, what can a $10 ad? I was reading something the other day, one of the social media experts was like, gone are the days of you pumping $100 into an ad for a month and making thousands. And I was just like, I understand that those days are gone, but I think for some of us who are entrepreneurs and who are building into entrepreneurship, even if you just start looking at your paycheck and even just start saying to yourself, okay, I need to put $20 every 2 weeks into this ad for my business, right? Because only just posting on our social media, yes, that works. But until you get that, you're going to have to start to look at it as a part of your budget, right? So again, these are things that God is telling you to do, but we try to make sense of it. Oh, well, I'll just keep doing everything that's free. We have to start investing in ourselves. We have to start investing in what God is telling us to do. And if he's telling you to do it and you have the resources. See, it's different. I can understand the lack of obedience when we don't have the resources. But when we do have the resources, this is where God gets frustrated with us, because he's like, you're making all these excuses, right? Everybody wants to go into entrepreneurship, but they're not doing the work while they have the full-time job. So you're not really, it's like, where's your, show God when you have it. Show God when you have that source of income. Show him that this is what you're serious about, right? So if he sees that, okay, every week or every 2 weeks when she gets paid, he or she is going to put money into that ad to promote to promote that conference, or to promote the book or the membership club. they're serious about this, so that when you start to shift and you do go into full-time entrepreneurship, God can truly trust you because you had the resources and you were using them wisely. And even if it was just $5, $10, $100, don't let anyone tell you what you need to spend. You spend what God is telling you to spend on your business, because he's going to bless it exactly. He's going to meet you where you are and he's going to bless it. A lot of you are not repairing your credit, right? So you want to go into entrepreneurship, but your personal credit is in the trash. You're not working on it. What is the strategy? Are you talking to God about this? Is God telling you to go to a particular person, or is God giving you the answer? I have met people that have done both. I was one of those. I knew I didn't have the time last year to do that. I paid someone. God blessed me, and I was able to bless someone as far as, pour it into their business, and they helped me. And my credit went up in 1 year over 100 points. And some people, they sat and they listened to God, and God gave them the download. God told them what to say. I've heard it all. Whatever your strategy is going to be, start working on repairing your credit. Okay? Start working on repairing your credit. It is going to matter as you are working and you're going towards your business. And then the last thing is paying off the debt when you have the money. Right? Paying off the debt when you have the money. Now, not for nothing, and I know because I heard a lot of people talk about this. There was people who were told by God, and I'm not talking about anyone else. I'm talking about those that you have a relationship with God, and God was telling you. So you're going to get confirmation one way or another in this video. But God told you last year when they were sending out those stimulus checks to pay some of that debt off. And some of you didn't pay nothing off. And this is no shade towards anyone. This is a fact. If God told you, because a part of building your credit and getting your resources together is so that you don't have to keep pouring into. Some of y'all not paying attention to some of these. Pay attention to your statement. Pay attention to them credit card statements. Look how much you're paying the interest. You can't run an ad. Why you can't run an ad? Because it's going towards your credit card. Your credit card is $20 in interest. God said, just give me $20 in ads. And I'm going to bless your book. I'm going to bless your conference. I'm going to bless your business. But you keep giving into the credit card companies because every month you're charging. You're not paying anything down. You're making the minimum. And now you're accruing more. And God said last year, pay that debt. Pay it off. They gave you whatever. What was the first amount? They gave it to you. And some of you, the debt wasn't even more than what they paid off. What they gave you. Some of you didn't have less. I'm seeing less than 1,000. Less than 1,000. And God said, pay it off. If you'd have paid it off, your credit would have went up. Right? I had to pay off my car. I had to get a new car because my truck was stolen before Thanksgiving last year. I could have easily, the way that Tanisha always did, right? I always laugh because I teach my students Excel, but I always laugh at this. But when I purchased my truck, young and dumb, and I took the longest term so I could have the lowest payments. And when I realized how much I was paying, I really paid so much for that truck. That's why I held on to her for so long. I was like, you know how much I paid for her? Not how much she was worth, how much I paid for her. That was my truck. But when God said, okay, you have to get this new car, but God sent me an opportunity so that I can pay off that car. I could have been very irresponsible. I could have had a whole bunch of Louis bags. I could have had a whole bunch of Gucci bags. I could have definitely had a whole bunch of Coach bags. I could have had a whole bunch of materialistic things. And God said, handle these resources wisely. And in 6 months, I just checked my mail and my title is in the mailbox. Just check the mail. The title fully paid off. God gave me the resources. I could have mishandled those, and I could have definitely put myself in a lot of warfare because I was disobedient. So definitely go back and listen to the other parts. Like I said, some of you are just misusing your resources, and we're talking about credit, and we're talking about just your actual income. You're not tapping into those side hustles. Some of you need money. You just need more. And unfortunately, some of us don't have jobs that have overtime. Some of us don't have jobs that are giving promotions. So some of y'all have to start tapping into your side hustles. You need more. If you need more, then I need you to go after more. Okay. Second thing is you're wasting time. You're wasting time because you're trying to create new strategies. God said a lot of you already have the notes. Go back to the old journals. It's in there. The answer is there. He's already given it to you. Some of you may have to go back as far as I'm seeing 2015, 2016. 2015, 2016. If there is something that you are trying to work through, you are trying to strategize, and you're just like, and you're wasting time because you keep trying to rebuild something, go back to 2015, 2016, go back to those journals. The answer that you're looking for is right there. Some of you need to go back to them dreams, right? Remember those dreams. There are certain dreams that always stick out to you. You always remember them. Go back to those dreams. Really ask God to help you to understand what does that dream mean, and there goes your answer as far as what it is that you need to do. And then the last thing is, it ties back with number one and with number two. But this is right here. If you have nothing to go back to, if you don't have any notes, that means this is a time for you to start to journal. Start journaling. Start journaling. Start to journal. If you're not journaling, start to journal. Because as you're journaling, sometimes you think those are really your thoughts, but sometimes God sneaks in there and he gets his thoughts in there too. And I love when those happens because you can always go back and you can say, okay, I never even thought about that. Right? And then the last thing, number three, the third thing that is really hindering a lot of us entrepreneurs, a lot of us that are seeking, you're waiting for perfection. There is no perfect time. There is no perfect time. You have to just do it. Now, I'm not saying just go out there and do it sloppy and just it makes absolutely no sense. No. When I say just do it, you already have the plan, you have the strategy. You just keep going back. You keep tweaking it. You keep trying to fine tune it. It needs to be perfect. The wording needs to be this way. Let me tell you something. Half the time, most people are not going to read half of what you wrote. They're feeding off of your energy. They're feeding off of you. They're coming because it's you. And they're waiting because it's you. I'm going to say that again. They're coming just because it is you. And they're waiting because it's you. So there are people who are not going to get healthy because you are waiting for everything to be in the systematic with the click funnel and everything is perfect. So they're not getting healthy. There are people who are not healing because you're trying to make it perfect. Stop. You already have the system. You already have the strategy. Push it, push it, push it. But go back to those resources and start figuring out, God, where can I pour into some assistance? Because some of you need assistance. This is why this whole perfection mindset. You need some assistance. You need someone to step back, and so that they can do it for you. And this way, it makes it 10 times easier. So the one thing that I had to release this year was I got a virtual assistant. That was part of using some of my resources towards my goal, towards my destiny. And I had to release the ability for her to create my website for me. Do you know how hard that was? Every website I had, I built it. Me. So now I have to allow someone else, but it was so freeing because when I was able to see it, I was able to perceive it just as like, wow, like this is amazing. And now I can just critique and give feedbacks for corrections, and I don't have to do the double work. Because see, that would have taken me 3 weeks versus the 1 week of her just doing it and me giving feedback. There are things that God is just trying to release because the closer you are, you're going to have even more like challenges. You're going to have new stresses. So there are certain things that this is why you have to have those resources in alignment. So again, for my entrepreneurs, go back. This was really, like I said, God was like, this has to go out today. And so I wrote this down. And one thing that I have done, and I want to share my website only because I am going to be doing a series of free workshops. And I would love for you to join me for the one that's coming up for the month of July. The ones for August, for August. The ones for June was really good. And the ones for July, I'm like totally looking forward to. So go to TanishaShanae.com, register for the webinar. It's 100% free. There are 3 different options this time. And I actually gave 3 different times. So there's a evening one, there's a one on a Monday, there's one on a Saturday, and one on a Sunday. So I'm trying to really touch everyone, and then we can kind of go from there. But I hope this has definitely given you some insight. Share this, share this, share this. Someone out here needs these resources. They need to kind of get that in check so that they can have this process. God does not want us to transition into entrepreneurship full-time with a whole bunch of stress. So there are things that he's trying to get you. He's trying to help you while you still have this job. So before you go ahead and quit, he's like, there are certain things that I need for you to do. And trust me, I'm speaking from me walking away in August 2015. I wish I had half of this, because I wasted a lot of time, especially with trying to be perfect. That's one of my biggest downfalls, and definitely not utilizing my resources properly when I had them. So these are things that I just want us all to be aware of, so we can go out there and do the work that God needs us to do and that the people need for us to do. All right, have a great one. Have a great one.